Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
What's going on, fight fans? Rob Smith back again for Combat Sports UK. I'm here with a friend of the channel, Dacre Bradley. Dacre, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, Rob, mate. It's good to be back here on Fight Week. Let's go.
Obviously, you mentioned Fight Week. That's the main reason we're doing this interview. Is if you've watched our previous interview, you know Dacre's got a fight coming up this Saturday against Julian Torhaug at Cage Warriors Academy. Dacre, I kind of want to first talk about how you feeling in Fight Week. How's training been going?
Yeah, everything's been going great. Like, as always, training hard, often, with the best guys around. So, yeah, it's been great. I'm looking forward to displaying the improvements I made since my last fight. And just in general, I feel like even in those fights, I didn't fully show everything, how much I've improved. So, yeah, I'm just excited to reap the fruits of my labor. And doing it on a nice big stage makes it a hell of a lot more sweet. So, yeah.
I think one question I always wonder with fighters, and I think sometimes you might get honest answers, sometimes you might not, and feel free to answer as honestly as you can. When leading up into Fight Week, do you ever get like any nerves or any jitters lead up into Fight Week, or is it just your focus on the goal ahead?
Anticipation at best. See, I've always been weird in the sense of like I don't know. It's just very normal to me. I don't get taken back by the occasion. Like, even though no one's ever seen me rattled in there, sort of thing. And I do have that, I've been at shows, I'm looking around the warm-up room and people are bricking it. And I'm just like, kind of, why are you here, sort of thing. Like, don't get me wrong, everyone feels a little bit of like, fucking hell. Like, like when you get to the venue, sometimes you're like, fucking hell, like, what have I signed up for? In that sense of like, it's a little bit surreal sometimes that your life's come to that point, that you're fighting people in a cage as a career. But outside of that, like, I chose to do this, you know what I'm saying? So I look around and when I see guys who look like they don't really want to be there, I'm just like, no one's holding a gun to your head and making you do this. Like, so, yeah, I just enjoy it. Like, I enjoy these moments because there's only going to be so many that I'm going to have in my career. It's not like football where you're playing every week. Like, you only have a certain amount of fights. So I just embrace every moment because there's going to be a day when I look back and want to do it all again and I can't. So, yeah, I just soak it up. This is what I want to do with my life. So I'm going to enjoy it as much as I can. And I don't. Why would I be scared of the thing I've chose to do?
Yeah, I think that's a good way of looking at it. One thing I want to touch on is you mentioned that you want to show the improvements from your last fight. Obviously, we discussed in our previous interview, the last fight didn't go your way. Does the pressure of obviously losing your last fight, does that add any extra pressure to you, or does it make you even more hungry to get the win on Saturday?
I mean, to be honest, I've lost my last two. So, but like, to be honest, I'm kind of proud of those performances. Like, obviously in the first one, I got out wrestled. Then, like nearly got him out of there with strikes in the third round, or at least close to it, put it on him. And obviously that was my first one out in 14 months, which was a pretty, so going against an undefeated guy and his back guard, Morgan's a hell of a fighter. So that was a great fight. It was a good experience. And then obviously fighting Ellis, I was like his 11th MMA fight. It was like my 4th MMA fight. He's fought the best guys in the UK. Comes from a good gym. Like, yeah, but I'm sweet with both of them. They're both super respectful guys. Like, yeah. Like it was a great experience, both those fights. Yeah, and in the Ellis fight, like it was a very close fight. And I just think he beat me on experience. Really, he just made some clever decisions late in the later rounds that comes with the experience he's got, which I'm trying to get to that level of experience. But yeah, I'm just fighting the best guys I can fight wherever, whenever, as I've said. And now I'm down at bantamweight. I think I'm going to start finishing guys. Like, I think this is really where my power and all this is going to start to show itself. But yeah, I'm thankful for it all. I mean, I'm 2-2 at amateur. I mean, the guy I'm fighting is 3-0. So I'm only fighting good guys. You look at my record, I've never fought a bum. I'm never going to. So that's it. I get in there with who I believe is the best guy that I can get matched with because I want to be the best at this one day, right? And how am I going to find that out fighting guy? You know what I mean? Can't. I need to fight the best guys around because either I can do what I say I can do or I'm full of shit. So let's find out.
Obviously, you mentioned that it's your first fight at bantamweight, and we kind of spoke off camera before this interview started about how this week is kind of mainly focused on the weight cut. Kind of talk me through what the weight cut's looking at throughout the rest of the week. How what's your kind of regimen throughout the week?
Well, it just obviously tapers down. It's just staying sharp for the fight. getting the weight down as every fighter's got to do in fight week. That's pretty much it. I just chill, get into the zone, do my thing, and then I just show up and do me, and that's it. You know, like I don't really overthink it. Like some of these guys, you know, like this is my third fight in 8 weeks. Like, so you know, these guys doing 8-week camps. I'm not here to hang about. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just in good shape, and I'll fight whenever good opportunities come up, and they have, and I've been seizing them. I'm going to continue to do that, and you know, I think a good, you know, we could call it a kill streak. It's going to start on Saturday night, basically at bantamweight. So yeah. That's the plan, man. And on Saturday night, a lot of people are gonna know what the crack is.
Well, you kind of talk about activity there. I think across the amateurs, I've spoken to a few amateurs now. It's in my time during journalism, and I kind of agree. I don't necessarily agree with doing camps at amateur level. I don't think it has to be taken as sort of serious in that regard. I think activity is the main thing, experience. And I think when I'm speaking to some fighters, they've just come off a big win. They're like, oh, you know, we'll take 12 weeks out. I'm thinking like, I think that's when that iron's hot, you strike. Like you don't just stop. I think, and I don't understand in the amateur scene, you get a lot of people now taking the 8-week camps, which to me I don't really think is necessary. I don't. It's not like it's a professional fight. It's not for. It's like it's not a big UFC title where you've got to do so much preparation. At amateur level, it's all about, in my opinion, experience is better than a win. It's all about gaining experience. You want to get as much rounds in as possible, get as much minutes, and just learn the game. And that way, when you come to the pros, you feel more comfortable in the cage. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Like, obviously, I'm not going to name names, but there's loads of amateurs out there doing that, and it's like becoming its own sport. That's why I just want to spam these fights and go pro, because that's what I'm in this for. But like, we were kind of talking about this a little bit before, but yeah, you see these guys get a win, they think they're in the UFC or something. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have like 12 weeks off with the family and this and that. Like, what are you doing in that time? Like, just like, do you know what I mean? Like, what are you like? Year round, I train twice a day, 6 days a week, and have a life outside of that. You know what I mean? And commitments outside of that. So I don't know what these guys are doing in that time. Like, yeah, of course you need a holiday here and there, you know, a bit of family time here and there. I'm not saying that, but like, what? Like, I don't understand. What if you want to be a fighter? Why are you not fighting? Obviously, there's injuries, etc. But that's not who I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if you're in good shape, you're doing 3 3-minute rounds. Do you know what I'm saying? Like 9 minutes. Like, I guarantee you, any top gym, their training sessions, they're doing more rounds than that. They're actually like they're working harder in the gym than in their fights. If you get what I'm saying, like they're exerting more energy in training sessions than in a free freeze fight. You know, because a lot of these gyms are doing 5-minute rounds. So I just don't understand why you wouldn't just keep stacking them up. But it's not my problem. I'm gonna do me. And there's other amateurs out here doing the same thing as me. You know, good friends of mine and other people on the circuit. And those are the people who I believe are going to go somewhere with this. If you want to hang around and fight for free until you're in your mid to late 20s, sweet. But that's not what I want.
And let's assume you win on Saturday, first round decapitation. Let's assume that goes ahead. What does the rest of the year look like for you? What do you want to just keep fighting, keep going, try and get another potentially 3 fights throughout the rest of the year, or was the rest of 2024 have in store for you?
Yeah, well, yeah. Obviously, I don't assume nothing in this. Julian's a good fighter, so I don't want to sound like I'm overlooking him, because I prepared accordingly, and it will show. But you know, all going to plan, as you said. I go away to America actually after the fight, like a little bit of a holiday for 2 weeks, visiting a good friend out there, stay with him, and then 4 weeks like training. And then I come back and I should have about 4 or 5 fights booked in across the country on different shows. Some up your way, actually. We're just waiting to hear back. But yeah, I was actually meant to have a title fight 15 days after this one, but 7 people said no. So people are starting to recognize, you know what I mean? It's only a recent thing as well. You know, I never had issues getting matched until recently. So I don't know what's happened. But yeah, so it's good though, because I only is you know like I only want to be fighting the best guys around, like these top 20 guys, etc. Like, and they're going to say yes to me. I'm not one of these guys who can say, "Oh, no one wants to fight me," because there are guys that will fight me 100%. The best guys around will fight me, and those are the guys I want to fight. You know, maybe I need a couple more fights before those guys will see me as worth their time or whatever they'd say. You know, but yeah, I want to fight these best guys around. You know, like I've already been doing it, and there's plenty more. I just want all this XP, and then Yeah, so that's the year. Lots of activity, and then next year we're the plan. Yeah, I want to be going pro next year, but obviously it completely depends to my coaches and how these runner fights go. But I believe, and yeah, time will tell.
It's a big month for MMA in the UK. Obviously, we've got UFC 304 coming up at the end of the month. I kind of want to talk about that event. Will you be tuning into the event? Obviously, I know it's a bit of a shame with it being the American times, but will you still be tuning into the event live, or will you just watch it the next day?
See, I always used to stay up and watch them, but the last few, because I've been in camp, I've just not done it because it literally writes like about 2 days off.
Yeah,
And
it is
you
difficult. I
just
think it just like you said, going to work the next day or something like that is a killer.
Yeah, showing up to wrestling is not fun, mate. It's not fun. Getting yeah, a long day. So, but like when I'm not in camp, I do like staying up because like I don't care what anyone says. It's not the same watching it in the morning. Like when it's live, you're in that moment. Do you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
I agree. 100% I agree with that. I think I'm going to do my best because like now I kind of see it as more of like my job to kind of I have more motivation to stay up because I want to like write articles and do things with the events. And so I'm definitely gonna tune into this one. Obviously, it's gutting that it's American time. I don't understand the decision by it. I think you've got the UK fan base that like they're so good to the UFC. I don't understand the decision by that, but obviously that's not that's above our pay grade. But like, how do you see that main event going? Obviously, Tom Aspinall, and then we've also got Leon Edwards. How do you see those fights going?
I got Leon and I got Tom. I'm
Yeah,
back in
I
the
think
bricks.
I'd be surprised if you said otherwise.
Yeah, no, yeah, all day. Yeah, big fan of them both. And yeah, you got back here on.
Of course you do. I think, and there was one person I want to bring up. I guess it's nothing to do with UFC, but it's obviously back in your own. And his career's kind of gone down a strange path. It's kind of going more towards the influencer boxing route. Did you happen to watch Darren Till's boxing match over the weekend?
I seen the straightener after though. That was nice. And the little tap across the head. That was sick. In Dubai, that's crazy though. They were doing it.
What,
So yeah, I did see some of it. Yeah.
what's your thoughts on the whole influencer boxing thing? 'Cause I know it's quite polarized, and some people love it, some people hate it. What's your thoughts on it?
Look, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like, I think if anyone got offered the amount of money some of these fighters are getting to do it, like you take it. Like anyone's lying if they said they wouldn't. But I don't know. Then like some of the other influencer boxers, especially some of the stuff you see them posting, I'm just like, there's amateurs in my gym. Like there's just so many people I can think of off the top of my head that would just smoke these guys, and they're out here fighting for nothing. And then these like influencers are going on social media and talking like they're the bollocks and that. Like it does annoy me to an extent. Just them talking like that, like because they're just unaware of the levels to fighting really. But in terms of them making money, all power to them. Like, look, these people are making money off literally just making videos on their phone. So, you mean you can't hate on that. You know what I mean? Money's money at the end of the day. But if they want to all punch each other up, that's sweet. But like, just don't pretend you're real fighters because honestly, it's disrespectful, really, compared to what we actually go through compared to them. Like, they're doing like boxer size and nice, pretty gyms in LA, and we're out here doing a madness. It's just like, relax. But look, who the fuck am I? Do you know what I mean? They're you know what I'm saying? They're doing their thing. So all power to them. Do you know what I mean? Crack on.
Well, yeah, I kind of agree with you on that statement. I think I enjoy it from the entertainment aspect because some of the fights you get are just like complete chaos, and it's entertaining to watch as a fan. But it does grind my gears when you see these like they're talking about like, oh, I'm in camp for 6 months. I feel like I'm like, and like you get people saying like I want to fight for world titles, like pump the brakes. Like I don't think a single influencer boxer is going to ever fight for a world title because it's just not. It's entertainment, but I understand the whole like when they're talking as if they're pro and like the pros. Yeah, it's jarring. It's not necessary. And I think it's a negative side because that's what causes I think the bad rap of it. But I think it could be a lot more. It could be seen as a lot more positive because I think it does get a lot of bad stick. But I think if they didn't act in a certain way, sometimes you get some fighters who they'll realize it's entertainment and that's why they're doing it, and that's fair play. Like you said, they're making money. Fair play to them. I don't knock them for that. But when they do come across with this attitude and they're acting like it is pro, I can understand how, especially you yourself as a fighter, you can see that as disrespect.
Yeah, I'd like to head kick. I'd like to head kick a few of them. But that's a meme now, isn't it? So I don't work the same. But yeah, like yeah, I can't. I don't want to come in here like and hate what anyone's doing. So just is what it is. Look, we feel the way we feel about it, but they're still going to keep making lots of money off it. But yeah, there's a few of them that kind of take it quite serious. Like, but still, even then, it's look, like, it just is what it is. I don't really even want to waste energy talking about it, to be honest. But fair play to them. You know what I mean? They're doing what they're doing.
And one of the last things I want to touch on, I was gonna ask this last time, but I just completely forgot. Is who is your dream like MMA opponent? Who is your dream fight? Anywhere it could be any. That could be retired, could be present. Who is your dream fight?
Oh, see, that's weird because see, it's a difficult one because if I see someone as like a legend, I wouldn't want to fight them because I would like, you know what I mean? So there's never really been someone that I'm like, that's a dream fight. But there's like other amateurs and people early on in their pro careers that I have my eye on in my head. I'm like, okay, we could have a big fight one day, I think. Like, and I think any fighter who's in this properly has their eye on a few other people and probably got people looking at me as well. But like, I know I'll cross paths with a few of these guys. So I build realistic targets in my head. I'm not out here looking at the UFC because, these guys, by the time I get there, they're not going to be the top guys. It's just how it goes. The sport has a constant turnover rate. And that's just how it goes. Yeah, of course, there's a lot of fighters I'm a fan of and stuff like that. But anyone in and around my age, I really wouldn't refer to myself as a fan of. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they're my peers. They're people I could potentially be fighting. But people who I know I'm not going to ever cross paths with, of course, I'll just be straight up about it. I'm not going to come on here and lie. But yeah, so I guess that's the only way I can answer that.
Yeah, well, I think it's a fair answer. And then last thing is, can you give me your official prediction for your fight on Saturday?
Early stoppage. We'll see what the crack is when we get in there. So look, I prepared accordingly. I train with the best guys in Europe day in, day out. I put my heart and soul into this. I don't cut no corners. And yeah, on Saturday night, that's just going to show. Look, I've done everything necessary, and I hope he has done the same. I'm sure he will have done. And yeah, welcome to England, brother.
Well, Dacre, I want to thank you for your time. If you're looking to tune in at Cage Warriors Academy 35, you can get the link to the live stream on their website. Or if you're in the area, you can buy tickets. You can go through. There's a link on Dacre's Instagram. Dacre, what is your Instagram?
It's Dacre_Bradley. Yeah, DACRE.
Perfect. Well, Dacre, I want to thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise, man. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.